Yes, my name is Alex Gedye. I don't know about all that, but I am here to talk about something that has been brought up a couple of times now, and that is confidence and the equation that is confidence and how some of us might be missing a chunk of it and what we might do to get a bit of it back. I'm going to share a yarn about my story, but I'll firstly introduce who and what I am. I'm Alex Gedye. I'm an advertising creative. I've got an invisible mini Mars bar right here for the person who might be able to tell me what that is. You. No? No one can tell me what it is? My parents can't either, it's okay. An advertising creative is someone who comes up with ideas behind the ads. Someone who thinks of the creative concepts behind radio, video, or let's face it, what you scroll past on Facebook and Instagram. This guy. I love my job. I'd walk into my agency every day with a Sharpie in hand. I'd get a piece of butcher's paper, and my job was to literally scribble things down, taking what's up here onto a bit of paper. So fun. Sounds fun, right? And it was super fun. I loved it. But like any fun job, there are sort of a few downsides to it, mainly being the landscape. Has anybody worked in advertising agency world or with agencies before? Oh, my entire lovely. That's right, you pipe down. We've talked about this a lot. So advertising agency world, it's kind of the wild west of business. I'm getting a nod. It's the wild west of business because it's kind of got an air of lawlessness to it. The rules that we might be familiar with in the corporate world, in science, in academia, don't really apply. Yeah? Things are moving way too fast. There are cowboys everywhere, kicking down saloon doors to get to the next opportunity, the next brief, the next budget, the next big piece of technology. It's all massive and exciting, and there's egos, and it's big, and it's moving like this, yeah? And what happens when your world around you is moving like this? It's very hard to nail anything down. It's very hard to stand still for a second and get some perspective and nail down a few things. Number one being structured learning opportunities. None of those. KPIs and performance metrics, none of those. I didn't have a job description. I didn't have much of a perspective outside of my own kind of world of marker, butcher's paper, fun ideas, billiards, pool table. Super fun, but very difficult to really understand a few things. And of course, what happened was I started to question my abilities and skills. Was I any good at what I did? If 97% of my fun ideas that I loved so much ended up in my invisible waste paper bin by my desk, if 97% of them didn't get even to the client, how could honestly, if I could tell if that was any good, how could I work out whether I was worthy of being in that job? And that's imposter syndrome. I questioned whether I was any good. I questioned whether I deserved to have a fun job with a Sharpie and a bit of paper and the ping pong table. If my job was to literally put my brain onto paper and think, my job was to come up with just ideas, and those ideas could be dismissed at the whim of a client, how on earth am I supposed to judge that? Since working with Happiness Concierge, I've come to understand just how massive this issue is amongst our workforce. In fact, as Rachel said earlier, 70%, right? 70%? Good, got it. 70%, which you'll see in your report, of our nation's workers have what's called as imposter syndrome. The belief that you don't deserve to be doing what you're doing, not the right person for the job, and you certainly don't deserve the fun or the reward that comes with that job. Yeah, 70%. And with so many people lacking in confidence, I have to wonder what the world of work is lacking. What cool ideas are in the bin? What discussions aren't being had? What opportunities to innovate and grow and evolve are being missed because a section of our workforce doesn't feel they should or that they can or that they deserve to. Yeah, it's a big thing. After 4 years of doing this job that I still love and will always love, I decided to quit my job last November. And I went to Mexico for 6 weeks. Thank you. It was fucking fun. I loved it. I went away, had tacos, margaritas, and thought about stuff. And I realised what I needed was, out of years of being in a role where my output was so subjective, I needed some proof. I needed some hard evidence that I was good at what I did, that I had good ideas, and that the stuff in the bin was worth exhuming and bringing to life. So I went this year on a bit of a quest to say yes to everything I possibly could. Every opportunity I was given, I said, uh-huh, and did it anyway. I was looking for evidence, something that I could say I had done, and I got it. Within the first few months after arriving back home from Mexico, I did Happiness Concierge Bootcamp with Ewan. It was awesome. I became a happiness concierge. I started taking on workshops and presentations and all sorts of amazing things that I could say tick and tick and tick and tick and done. And I began to experience, after so many years of doing ideas, something that felt quite fluffy and subjective, the power of evidence in building confidence. And what happened to my confidence, do you think, when I started to get the evidence? It increased, yeah. Pretty simple, but it took a long time for me to get there, right? My confidence really increased. I began to say yes to even more. At Happiness Concierge, we define confidence as not so much a personality trait, but rather a choice and an action. And that is to combine three things: validation, evidence, and self-belief. What was missing in my puzzle was the evidence, and I managed to get it for myself. And my job, I think, as an advertising creative, really when I think about it, isn't to walk into an office with a Sharpie and scratch around and be the colouring in department. It's actually to sell confidence. The confidence to buy and the confidence to believe and the confidence to do. We make decisions emotionally and back it up rationally. Let me help you with that. Yeah. So I eventually got there. My confidence is feeling great. And next year I'm really excited to bring all of this to the workshops and training that we do. Every one of us has something about us that allows us to make people feel confident in our presence, and I'm hopefully one of them. I'm really excited to show your people the power of crafting evidence into something like an elevator pitch, a brand message, and sharing it with the world. I've been Alex Gedye. Thank you so much.